Good morning. It's Friday morning. I've got 20 minutes before work. Hello. Put my face in the video. Hello, maybe not. And the subject of today's video is my Eurorack, or Euro crap as I'm choosing to call it today, because I want to just go over something. I don't know why I want to do this, but talk about the downsides of my attempts to do this on a budget and how I'm gonna get around that, the new approach which is incoming. So yeah, it's the subject of this one. So what I've got, this is working, isn't it? Yes, testing video. What I got is the Behringer Chaos, which is a cool module, and it's based on the mutable instruments. It's not based on the mutable instruments, it's a rip-off of the mutable instruments marbles. Now, Emily Gillet is no longer producing these modules and create them open source. I believe she's moved into an entirely different sphere of work, and mutable instruments is no more. From that point of view, what Behringer here is doing is creating a clone of a module, and many other companies are doing it, and Behringer's probably doing it cheaper than anybody else. So this is a bargain as it goes. It's a trigger and CV generating kind of module, with a lot of randomization and adjustment. But for me, I guess the subject is why this on its own will not do what I need it to do as a sequencer, essentially, because of the approach I want to take. So anyway, there's sum up of the world of this Eurorack. I've got this Chaos, I've got this thing, which is as yet perhaps unnamed, and this is a thing that gives you sequenced effects, I would say, and rearrangement of a buffer. So it takes a clock in and an audio in, and it changes the output by perhaps rearranging it a bit, or adding a kind of stutter effects, and at the moment, you know, it can adjust the pitch of the incoming audio, and it can also do delays and reverbs. But the idea is, like, I'm not just putting a delay on the incoming audio, or, you know, to make an echo, or I'm not just putting a reverb on it. I've got more of an option there to use CV or triggers to control the reverb and the delay, so that it happens on certain hits. So say, like, you know, you can send it a trigger, and there could be a randomization element then, or I think you can do it in a more controlled way to say, you know, I want to put reverb on certain steps of my sequence, or a delay, or a stutter effect. So and this ties in, the controllability ties into why the Chaos may not be, the Chaos / Marbles may not be the exact thing for me to get something that I regard as, well, I wanted this to be music. Anyway, so this is kind of like the test setup, and it's mainly about the module that I'm making, because you know, I need modules around that to feed stuff into it, and also I want to be able to get music out of it, you know, and not just any old stuff that I put into it. And I want it to then be a kind of a proven working Eurorack module that you can do what you want to do with. And so I need things around it that that feed it kind of like decent sequences or whatever. Not that I'm saying that this Chaos doesn't provide decent sequences. So then I've also got that there I'd ignore. It's got an attenuator ring mod, some mults. It's just a thing I've made, but it's not quite right. Then we've got the radio music, great module, but it's probably on its way out, because I'm thinking about sampling and the way to get bang for buck out of a system that I can actually make music with, rather than disparate modules that that individually are fun but don't necessarily come out with me being able to produce a piece of music. So also on its way out, sadly I can't show it because it's in the box, but it's the Dopfer A116 mini synth voice. That's an all-in-one kind of mono synth voice. It's cool, it sounds great, but I can't squeeze an entire track out of that and the radio music. I've also got the Disting, which is Mark III. That's a great module. I'm keeping that because I'll be able to find a place for it doing something, because it does different things, but only one thing at a time. Then we've got the Captain Big O, which is a VCO with fold and drive waveforms. It's a nicely featured thing. Unfortunately, I bought a B stock one, and I've never been able to get it to stay steadily in tune. And also, I'm not 100% in love with the fold sound of it for some reason. Maybe I don't like fold as an effect. Maybe I don't like these oscillators going through this fold. I don't know what it is. Sorry, Captain Big O. But I think that the square wave sounds great, and the saw, and I still may get this tuned up, so that it's calibrated properly, and get it doing what I want it to do. And I may kind of, you know, watch this space on that one. That may be something I want to keep, and I find it works nicely through filters and all sorts of things. So I don't know, but it's got work associated with it. Then we've got the Miso, which is really handy, just for mixing, inverting, attenuating signals. Comes in handy all the time. And this mix up is my output, basically, which is just does what it needs to do, and that's great. So that's the whole Eurorack thing. Now, to address the problem with it, I want to have controlled sequences going in, and then sort of like, you know, it's some way that I need an external sequencer at the moment, which is going to be the computer, and I want to sort of like know that I can, if I don't like something in the sequence, I can get some kind of control back and change it. And also, basically what I want to get to fix this might issues, as it were, is Bitbox Micro. That's the plan. So that's partly why I'm selling the radio music, because it's a sampler, and I'll have a sampler that does many things, and also the selling the Dopfer, just because really it's a lovely module, but it raises the money I need to get the Bitbox, or it doesn't raise the money. It raises a fraction of the money I need, so it gets me there with other things combined. So yeah. Now the problem, I might as well make some sounds. What I'm trying to do is to test this module. I'll call it the Tring 1 for now. I think it may change its name. I want to feed it something. So I've recorded some little bits of samples. 1 second, just going to look at the time. Yeah, 10 minutes on this video. I've recorded some little bits of samples of household things, and I've put them into the disting in the sampler mode. Now, I can get a sequence out that way by feeding a CV in to change the sample, and a trigger in to trigger the sample. So I can get, you know, a drum sequence of sorts. But my problem is, unfortunately, I don't know what's going to come out of it. And I turn some knobs until there's something I quite like. And, you know, that's okay, but I want to be able to do things that have some of my own control. I guess chaos, the clue was in the name, but it's not chaotic. And it's where it works best, I think, is melodies rather than drum beats. But I want this rhythmic element. So anyway, then I've got samples loaded into this, as I say, the Disting Mark III. But the problem there is I load in the samples and I can't adjust them. I can't change them. The samples in here, if I say like there's a sound that's too loud or not the right sound to go with these other sounds, then between the Chaos and the Disting Mark III, I'm kind of a bit stuck. And if I want to change a sound, if a sound's too loud, which is the common thing, it doesn't quite work with the others, because it's like a cymbal or something, and it dominates everything else. Then I would have to take that, I'd have to take the module out, I'd have to get the card out, stick the card in the computer, adjust it so it seems about right, put it all back together, and then, you know, if it needs further adjustment, I don't want to have to do that again. So, you know, a dedicated sampler module is going to just make this kind of whole thing work, I feel. So, you know, a demonstration anyway, because I've focused in on this setup, and you know, what's a Eurorack module without any sound? It's the worst thing ever. But it's going to be all me blathering and bugger all sound, unfortunately. So that's and if you got here, if you got this far without hearing any sound, then well done, which seems unlikely. So the Disting Mark III triggered by the Chaos, going through some samples which are just clicks and clonks and things I made with some stuff. Kind of sounds like this at the moment. I don't know what it's going to sound. And you know, clack, 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 clonk. You know, I'd turn the clonk down, and I'd change that whole rhythm. But, you know, it's kind of, well, I can twist some knobs and something else will come out, but you know, it might not be still exactly what I want. You know, and that's not what I'm aiming at, that particular rhythm. But anyway, when the new thing comes in, I'm gonna control it via MIDI. Gonna have a go with Orca, the sequencer, and I'm gonna see what kind of control I can get over rhythms, and I'm still going to use then some of this randomization from the Chaos to randomize or patternize with an element of random some of the CV ins to this module, so that then, you know, I've got something that's kind of a combination of MIDI and MIDI and CV. Only because I guess probably the next thing I would need is the future system I'm describing would be a MIDI to CV kind of setup. What I have got is, back in the picture, Behringer has gate out and CV out. I didn't find the range of the CV out to be what I wanted it to be. So, you know, I don't know whether I can use that, but I will probably be using that temporarily as the gate out. Because I'm not sure if I can do that with the bitbox. So anyway, so then I will have everything sequenced from the same kind of a source, some controllability. Anyway, that's the clonk clonk. That's the rhythm. Now I've put that into the so-called Tring 1 currently. Just got the one audio out. I think I'm going to add panning to it as a thing, and use the other audio out, because currently the second audio out is literally, that's what you're hearing. Which is the input. But yeah, if I I've got audio in, I've got a clock going in, which is just a steady clock from the Chaos, which is nice. It's a nice thing it does, because it gives you the steady clock and then the altered versions of it. And then I've got a trigger coming in from that, from the left hand side, which is bringing in stutter kind of modulation. And then I'm using a CV as a trigger at the moment. This module is going to change quite a bit to bring in reverb as an effect, and currently some kind of delays in there, probably a quick delay or something that comes in now and then, but it's coming in on a random pattern off. It's just fixed in the module until I make some changes to this module so that I can get all the features I want in it. I need more knobs and CV ins. Anyway, coming out, what have we got? So that's from that, you know, to that. And there it is. So that's just outlining future plans. Also, before I finish video, which has gone on now for 18 minutes of me blathering, and I'll probably struggle to get it uploaded, excuse me, to YouTube. I want to set myself another deadline. Now there's probably going to be, deadline is over the weekend. I'll do another excuse me, I'll do another track with what I've got, with this and the what's this thing, Arturia Micro Freak down there. I'll do another kind of basic track with what I've got at the moment, just so that get something else created out there. So that's Monday. Watch this space. Monday, new track coming soon. And then the other deadline, which I need to basically make a bit more set in stone and work out what it is that this thing needs new hardware. I need to make a new circuit for it. I just need to add in some of these extra pots and things, and I need to put in a voltage reference for -5, so that these pots sweep from -5 to 5 volts, and the CVs do the same thing. And there's more of these pots and more of these CVs and more effects and things happening. So that's the other deadline, and I haven't put a deadline on it because I don't know when I'm starting that. But talking about it now will probably make a deadline. Okay, end of video. Cheerio.